Hi, thanks for joining us for Loss of Community and why it matters for you as a contractor. My name is Tim McGuire. I'm the Vice President of Community Engagement at PointMan. What is community? Well, community in its simplest terms is a group of people living in the same place with common interests. But for the sake of our webinar, we're really talking about something different. We're talking about a network of social and economic relationships and the places where those relationships interact. When we look at traditional communities, we think of our neighborhoods. We knew each other. We trusted each other. We leaned on each other to watch our kids if we had to go to the store or to make sure that our property was safe when we were away. My mother didn't have to see me do something wrong. I heard about it because there were others watching over me. We had our church groups. These brought us together not only to pray, but to share common values in the way that we raised our families and found friends. We joined organizations, we took trips, we went to lawn fates or field days. We interacted together with people who were part of that community. And we had our families. There was a time when generations of families lived together, or at least close enough that they could support each other in any way that was needed. And those traditional communities brought us something. They brought us trust. We knew that the guidance that we received from those around us came with a responsibility that those folks felt to do right by us. And that was because we had a shared set of values. Being part of the community meant that we all bought into those values. And we had safety. We trusted the people around us, and that meant we felt more safe and secure. We weren't constantly looking over our shoulders. Well, what has community become today? We're much more of a distant society than we were in the past. I'm not going to bore you with statistics, but there are numerous reports that show Americans today report having a smaller number of friends than we had seen in the past. And way more people than ever report that they're lonely. Social media has become one of the main ways that people engage in relationships. They seek out people that are like them, though, and we tend in this situation to have relationships with people that are much more like us and don't have a lot of differences. There's benefits to the modern community. Certainly, there's parts of the world that we can see today that we never would have saw in the past. I can travel farther today than whole generations could travel in their entire lifetimes. And we've got tools today that bring us closer together as well. Google Translate is a fantastic example. This little app allows us to communicate with people that we never could have talked to in the past. Just a couple of months ago, I was in the airport at a baggage claim and saw a person there struggling, trying to figure something out on their phone, and I went over to see if I could help, and it became clear in an instant that we were not speaking the same language. They were actually from Central Europe, and within a few minutes, we were able, using the Google Translate app, in a little bit of a choppy way, to have a conversation that allowed me to help that person to get themselves in the right direction to where they were having to go. These are powerful tools, but when it comes to our business, the change in community directly impacts the way that we get new customers. Word of mouth has been replaced by the Google search. And the advice or guidance that we once were given by a trusted friend has now been replaced with the search for that 5-star review. That's not going to go away, but there is a place for the traditional way, and it could lead to longer-term relationships with our clients that are built on trust versus the short-term transactional relationship. The loss of community that we see today leads to a loss of trust. Relationships are becoming less meaningful. Personal relationships, church membership has dropped over 20% in the last 20 years. Marriage rates are at their lowest level since 1870. Relationships are less meaningful to people. And that means something in our businesses as well. A change in community has led in many ways to a loss of the values that are so important in the service industry. In the not too distant past, entire neighborhoods were built around the small number of employers. Generations of workers were brought up to learn to be on time every day, to care about the quality of their work, and to fear letting down their coworkers for not carrying their own weight. These virtues were reinforced in our communities and gave us the skills to be better partners in a relationship and better parents. In many areas, the loss of manufacturing jobs meant that entire neighborhoods that shared common employers lost that glue that held them together. And to this day, I see contractors online desperately looking for these attributes in the folks that they're looking to hire. These things are much harder to teach than technical skills. So is everything lost? Well, no, it's not. There are things that we can do today to help to regain those benefits, both in our business as well as with the community at large. In our business, it may not always be easy, but we want to try to hire people that share the values and attitudes that we have towards service and quality. These are attributes that can't be taught, but they can be nurtured. Community is something that grows within your business if you give it the right fertilizer to do so. There's a few examples that I put together of some things that you can do. You've put together a team. What are some ways that we can nurture that feeling of community, that engagement of community within our business? How about a day of sharing? Ask your team to identify causes or charities that are important to them. There's some websites that'll be helpful for this if you're running into some problems. Volunteermatch.org, DoSomething.org. They both will give you some great ideas of organizations that you might consider working with. Now, choose a couple of them. Reach out and ask how you can help. I can guarantee you that those organizations are going to have something that you can do. And now, make a day of it. Better a weekend day. Encourage your employees to include their families. Make a community out of your business. Bring the families along, do something good, and when you've finished, share a meal together at the end of the day. Now, at your next office meeting, ask what your team members' families enjoyed most about the experience and what they took from it. Share in each other's victories. This is a really small thing, but as an owner of a business or a manager of a business, talk to your team. Let them know that you want to hear personal or family achievements. From the smallest, my son had his first day of school, to the big ones, we're pregnant. We're going on vacation. My aunt just had her 80th birthday. Take these little things, make notes of them, and when you have your weekly office meetings, share them with the office. Bring everyone together to celebrate the positives in each other's lives. And in the community at large, there's things that you can do as well. You have a special skill set. Use your superpowers for good. Is there an organization in your town that you could share your services with for free or even at cost? Could you make yourself available to a local women's shelter or offer your services as part of a Habitat for Humanity build? How about at your church or at your child's daycare? Is there something that you can do to show that you care to be engaged in your community and help them to do better? It might get you an ad in their newsletter or in the church bulletin, a little reward that might come from doing good. You know, another idea might be donating unneeded or unused supplies that you have. There's an organization in Buffalo called Reuse, and it's a store that collects unused construction supplies and building equipment, even used building equipment that can be taken apart, and it's sold. And the benefits, the profits from that go to support our local Habitat for Humanity chapter. How about adopting a charity or a cause? Look at that list that your team created of the things that were important to them. And now set aside a small portion of each invoice to go to that charity. We're not talking big amounts of money here. $5 off of each job is going to a charity of your choice. Put that onto your invoice and make it part of your advertising. Let your customers make a donation if they'd like as part of the invoice as well. Add a line item. I'd like to donate X to the SPCA or whatever other charity that comes to your mind. And then share when you give that donation to the charity. Take the check, hand it over to them, take a picture with them. Make that part of your image that you share with your community. That you're not just a business in the community, but that you're a member of the community and you want to share and give back to your community. Here's an idea that maybe won't work for every customer in every situation, but it would be great to try to get our neighbors talking to our neighbors. A sign on the lawn is nice, but maybe you could play a role in getting neighbors interacting. Now listen, I can share more statistics, but trust me, many more people than ever before have never met their neighbors. Now again, this may not work for everyone, but how about considering asking your customer if they would mind sharing their experience with their neighbors? Sure, we ask them for reviews, but that tends to be much less personal. Ask if they'd mind sharing their phone number in a short letter to maybe 10 neighbors around them. Now, you could put that letter together. You could ask them for their name, their contact information, and then share that letter with maybe 10 neighbors around them. Let them know in the letter, hey, your neighbor Joe, he had a problem and he reached out to us and we were able to make good on the trust that he put on us. He'd love the opportunity to share his experience with you if you'd like to talk about it. What a great way to get people talking to each other, sharing with each other, and ideally get you the kind of referrals that are actually meaningful because they come from a place of trust. Now, the one thing that anyone can do, and it's almost a guarantee to work, dogs. You can't go wrong with dogs. The ability to use the canine man of the house as a means of getting people engaged is out there in all sorts of examples. There's a Facebook page called UPS Dogs that has 1.3 million Facebook followers. And what do? These drivers from all over the United States and Canada, when they arrive at their customers' homes and they have a dog, they take a picture with the dog, they post it up on UPS Dogs. What a great way to just show what your company is all about, to show your values. We're part of the family, we're part of the community. If you're on Twitter, you've seen this. We Rate Dogs, over 8 million Twitter followers. A simple place where people post a picture of their dog looking for people to just tell them how much they like their dog. 8 million people. And there is not a single posting that goes up on that feed that doesn't have hundreds, if not tens and hundreds of thousands of shares and likes. Why not your company? There's a local company in town here, J&L Remodeling. They did a little bit of kitchen work for my family a couple of years ago. And I thought this was fantastic. And what a great idea. Every home that they go into that has a pet, they go ahead and take a picture of that pet, post it up to their Facebook page. The little guy on the left there is my old Marley. He was there as the supervisor while Joe and his team worked on our bathroom. Over on the right, there was Dozer, make sure the job was getting done the right way. Couldn't your company do something this simple? Ask permission of the homeowner. Hey, can we take a picture with your pet? Have your technician take that picture with that dog, cat I guess, but dog. Tell them, we're not going to post your name. We're not going to post your address. We just want to say, another happy customer, and here's their dog. Listen, if you're a pet owner, you know how much we all love sharing pictures of our pets. You post that on your company's Facebook page, there is no way that homeowner isn't going to share that with their friends. And they're going to see that. More likely than not, they're going to comment, they're going to share. You're driving people organically to your Facebook page because you're showing them that you have values and you care about the community in a way that might set you apart from your competition. As I said, there's a number of other ways that we could do this as well. We're going to have a blog that we're going to put up maybe in the week or so that's got some other ideas that you might consider that are ways that you can show an impact on your community. So remember, we want to try to bring back community. Think of your company as a community growing tool, because that's what it really is. We have the opportunity in the service industry to touch thousands of people a year. What better way to spread the positive attributes of community? Build community in your office by building relationships. You're hiring the right people. They're the kind of people who are going to want to engage in these types of activities. Nurture it. Grow community in your office. And show your company as an agent of trust and community amongst your neighbors. Wear it like a badge. Put it on your invoices. Put it on your Facebook page. Show that you're not just a business, but you're a part of your community. Thanks a lot for attending. We look forward to seeing you at future webinars. Again, take a look at our webpage, pointman.com. You'll find links to this webinar along with all the different blogs and different elements that we have out there as well. Thanks. Have a great day.